So I have to film foundation and powder and stuff since it's all a secret. I have to film that off camera, but I thought today we could do a holiday eye. But I'm sure some of us have some holiday parties coming up. So I thought we could do a really goldy champagne holiday eye. What you're seeing me do is I'm looking around getting inspired by my makeup. So I think that'll be fun. Let's do that today. So say I am the one going to the holiday party. What I like is I like to be a little extra glam than what I normally am. And I know a lot of the times we think glam, we think heavy, we think layers, but it's actually as easy as even your entire eye area just having more coverage than usual. So whenever I want the most coverage, I'm gonna grab my clean canvas. It literally just leaves a clean canvas there. T2. But let's start at the lash line. I know a lot of you have heard me say this, and I know it might be repetitive, but it does make a difference, and we have new friends every single day here. And we're gonna take this all the way up to our brow bone. I need to grab a little bit more. But I find that when this eye area is really nice and even, I'll even tend to wear a little less foundation. Little steps like a more full coverage eye base can really amplify your look without having to kind of go down the same route that we think about when we think more glam makeup. It doesn't mean that we need to now even reach for super full coverage. It never means heavy. They're just little tricks, and we'll talk about that around the eye once we get here. Just little things help us wear less makeup but give us a more full glam, full coverage effect without feeling it. So this is going to be a good tip if you have hooded eyes. What you'll see a lot of artists do, if you've ever watched a pro makeup artist do someone's makeup, you've probably watched them grab this before they grab eyeshadow. Not only is applying this before your eyeshadow going to add depth and longevity, it's a really good way to kind of map out. It's a messy map. You can be messy with it, and since I have this really wet base, it's even going to give it a longer dry time, so we won't have to get in here and work. I'm trying to demonstrate really quickly. You won't have to get in here and just go to town and work really, really quickly. So this is going to be really, really good, and I don't know if you can tell, but I have already fallen absolutely in love with this particular color. This is the shade Whiskey, and this underneath here, oh, I just absolutely love it. But enough with the yap, let's get going. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this. Notice it doesn't even have to be sharp because like I said, we're using it as our eyeshadow. We don't even want it too dark right now. We just want it to be a little bit of a shadow. At this point, this is completely normal, it mixing with it. I'm just gonna roll it on the back of my hand. So there we go, we're starting to get our shape. It's also really good because you see that we can take it right out of the fold very easily. Messy is good. It's just adding that depth, and it's sometimes easier to draw through here, kind of where you would like to shade, because this eventually was going to add a little bit of lift to a hooded eye. But it's just really easy to shade here on this outer part of the lid. Now, I want to talk to you really quickly about eyeshadow palettes. If you did not get a bunch of neutral palettes this year, and you're like, you know what, I don't know what I want for the holidays, this is the palette. Okay, this is from Viseart. This has been around before any of the palettes that look like this released. I call this the benchmark palette because this is what all of the palettes that have came out that resemble this. This is probably what they took when they were creating their palettes. If I did not already own this palette, you know what? I believe I asked for this palette at one time and did receive it for Christmas. So yeah, this is what I had. I have once wanted this for Christmas. It's a 10 out of, it's an 11 out of 10, this one is. So what I think we'll start with is we're going to start with this one. I have another one if you're wondering. You're like, well, that one doesn't even look used. I don't even know how many of these I've had now. I think this is number 3. They've been around for a very long time and I've used that much of them. So we're going to take that shade and we're going to press that in here. And we're pressing that on top. And the shade matches the pencil pretty well. Just press it right on there. There's really no precision at this point. It's not scary. I also want to keep this a little bit simple too. Just really quickly, all we're doing is picking up the shadow on one side and we're just pressing that into the liner and the base. We're not even worrying about a transition. We're just making sure that it's nice and set. Now I'm going to teach you how to add this color too, but we're not there yet. And a color like that sometimes can be a little intimidating, especially if you're not really into warm tones, but I'm going to show you how to use it. But again, we're not there yet. I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of this shade, start to transition here. Pick up more. Always build. Jean's bathing. Do you hear the weirdness? That's my Jean bean. Look how smooth that is. Ooh, that's nice. I thought I would just let this side blend too. It's so satisfying to watch eyeshadow kind of come together. Still got a few more things we're gonna do, just a few more tweaks. But it's just really satisfying to watch things melt together. I actually find that using the side of the brush with this technique is really fast. It's kind of just like stamping it in place. I know sometimes my stamping method can seem a little tedious, but that's pretty fast. Just depends on the eye look. Now remember when I mentioned this color? A really good way to use a very intense warm color like this is to switch brushes. Really quickly, this is just a really quick demo on the difference in size. Whenever you have a fluffier brush, and what that powder is you're seeing on this one is the powder I put on my brows before I applied my brow product. That's gonna be fine. I'll wipe it on Sheila. But the difference here is this is going to apply more product. It's gonna apply it more intensely. And this fluffier brush is going to be more of a soft veil. So we're gonna take the E29 because we want more of a veil of color here. We're gonna pick this shade up, very small amount. Let's check it. You can always look and see how much. That might have been too much, okay? Just do a quick little tap on the back of your hand. You'll see how pigmented it is. I'm just gonna tilt my head back and I'm just gonna add this into everything that is on my eye at the moment. Aside from focusing too much on my lid, because I am gonna put a sparkle there, but we're just gonna add a nice wash of warmth, and this just melts everything together. I'm gonna tap back in. That might have been okay, but it's always better to build. Even where I'm at in my journey, I'm going to build. Nice, very soft. Look at the difference. It is so blurred and so smooth. I'm gonna add a little bit extra of that orangey shade out here. Still tapping, just using the tip of the brush to tap. Now when I think holiday, I think gold. I really do. We're all different, but look at this. I wish you could feel these Kiko Milano shadows if you haven't before. They feel so buttery. Ooh, that's gonna be nice, yep. I like that it's not too yellow of a gold, but it's definitely still a gold. So what we're gonna do, I think we'll even this out a little bit here. We're not doing a cut crease, so don't even worry about carving, none of that jazz. Keep it a little bit more simple, like I said. I'm gonna take this here on a C30, and I'm gonna work in sections. I'm gonna start towards the front, bring it over this way, pick up more, and that's what I mean by working in sections. Wow, that's really pretty. Now, don't worry about here. We're gonna do something else there. And I feel like that's one of the things that makes such a difference on how our blend looks. We're also gonna soften this a little bit through here. the brush is just so precise, it's just automatically going to do that. But we do want to soften it a hair. But first, let me get this side finished. And then I'll show you that we're going to stop at about right there. Now I'm just going to take the E28 again, and I'm just going to push that into the shimmer, and it's automatically just going to soften it kind of into the depth there. And then we're going to take, I think we'll take this color. Yep, I think we'll take that one. And then I'm just going to press that in between these two shades, just so they have friends. Nice. Now we're going to add depth in our lashes and on top up here. Same pencil. This is that 𝗕𝗂𝘂𝘁𝗍 eye pencil that I already tagged. I think we'll take it all the way across. But I am coming from underneath to get definition once I get towards the front, because I want the eye to look a little larger towards the front. So if I put it on top, that could make the eye look smaller. That is not a bad thing. I'm just letting you know what placement does. There's no right or wrong. There's just knowing what the placement actually does. But for right now, I have the gold there, so I want this to appear larger because the gold is going to open everything up naturally. But I am giving you a tip. If you want to control your pencil liner like this, come from underneath. So one of my favorite things to do that is very easy is to do gold, but only here. Look how pretty this gold liner is. Just do it right where the iris is. We're gonna hold on to it because we'll bring it out of here later, but look at how pretty that is. But to really kind of enhance it, let's take the brown, the same one. Isn't that pretty? We're gonna skip lashes today because I know a lot of you enjoy when I do lash-free looks. So I'm gonna take I do love this YSL waterproof mascara, but I like this one when I'm doing a more intense lash, when I want them to almost look like falsies, but I don't want to put falsies on because it doesn't take as much to get them super voluminous. And the volume that it just gave me at the root, see that depth? That's what's giving that falsy look. Now, I might not be back for a while because I'm waiting on a few things before I film. Secret projects. So much going on. But I will be back and then we'll just finish off blush and bronzer and lips. But like I said, it might be a little while. I gotta go check on some things. Okay, love you. Be back in a little while. Alrighty, I'm back. And sorry I can't tell you the powders and everything that I'm using. We have to have some kind of makeup secrets. Just for a little while. You'll see very soon. All right. But like I said, I'm back and we're gonna bronze. You know what? I wanted to use my Gucci bronzer. Maybe we should do a side-by-side and let me explain them. That's a really good idea. So what I'm going to do, I have two C40s here, so we will switch brushes. So the Gucci to me is still fantastic. I just feel like high-end does bronzer very well, but I will say a few of the more affordable brands that I think I might just go buy all of the shades right now to compare would be Wet n Wild. I still love the Wet n Wild bronzers. That being said, there is a, there's a formula here, and the formula spared no expense, but it also shows in the application. So let's do the Gucci on this side. And it is just a more pigmented, intense bronzer. That is, I love. I'm loving it. I'm having a good time. And I also loved the shade of this. I feel like it's a really nice red shade that we weren't seeing a lot at the time when I was using this. I'm just gonna keep bronzing until we're done with this side of my face. So much more pigmented. So if you're after a very pigmented bronzer, not a veil, you're going to love this one. But this one still is just delightful to me. I love everything about it. I love the application. I love the color. But I do feel that for a little while, I got away from a really, a more glamity glam instead of I was kind of doing that every single day. So it got kind of fun to just do a really nice veil of bronzer. That being said, now I kind of want to just leave this one out on my vanity. Ooh, look at that intensity. All right, so now we know what we're working with. Definitely intensely scented. I can't remember if this one's scented. I feel like I should remember those things since I use them every day, but I got a lot going on around here. No, this one is not scented. All right, moving on to the YSL on this side. Now we're moving over to the YSL, and if you want a veil of color, something really easy to apply. I feel like the Gucci is easy to apply, but anytime you're dealing with a more intense pigment, you're going to be just a little bit more thoughtful. So I feel that if you're one that wants to be, notice I have to load up the brush more, but if you want to be just a little bit more on autopilot and not really have to think about it, the YSL is going to be for you. I just think it is so smooth and it's so easy to apply. I also love the color. It's not quite as red as the Gucci, which not all of us want a red bronzer like I do. But that being said, I feel like this is really nice in between. And it just leaves a veil of bronze. And that kind of means that you can kind of just still see through it. It's just ever so lightly laying there. See how this side looks compared to this side? I need to blend this a little bit more, which I have to do, but I have to use the product that I was saying I have to use the product that I can't show you. And the only reason that this looks unblended is because there's this more harsh line because of the intense pigment. It's not bad, it's just different. Now I'm gonna sneak this. Y'all didn't see anything going on there. Just kind of press that to melt in between there. Good to go. I'll even melt these edges here. See even how much more intense it is on my nose? I think I forgot to do this side, so let's do this side here. This is the YSL, obviously, since we're on this side of the face. Here we go. I like this color blush. It's not quite pink, but it's not quite peach. I also really do love this formula. Let's grab this on a C41. And then what you just saw me do is I was evening it out. I talk about this all the time. I've scraped this for another video. But something I always talk about is I love design on things. It's so pretty, but it makes for uneven pickup, which makes for uneven makeup on the face, which then makes this kind of go, which then disturbs the makeup underneath. So it's just, if I were to ever do makeup, as fun as it would be to have a really fun design on it, I wouldn't put a design because I feel that pickup is way more important. You know what? The more I stare at this, the more I just overall like the YSL side. Not that the Gucci is bad, but you can see that even, I don't even know, I think we were using the Gucci in 2020, but you can see that there's just been makeup advancements with the way makeup is even going to lay on our skin. So if you ever were like, Rose, oh, I thought that was your favorite. Don't y'all look at me that way, first of all. Y'all be nice to me. But second, there are advancements yearly, monthly. I mean, it's chemistry. All right, this is even enough. I wish it was more even, but that's gonna work because the C41 is C41 and woo, that's a pretty color. I really do love this color. It's not this intense, but not that I don't like this intense pink. It's just something different. And I know that not all of y'all want the same thing. You know the Melt one that I've been using all the time? It's still in the pink realm, but it's not that very blue, bright neon pink. This is a really pretty shade. If anybody has to go to Target tonight, let me know. I want to go with you, and we will go buy this blush, and we will get popcorn, and we will get an 𝗕𝗄𝐼. I wish they had the white cherry 𝗕𝗄𝐼cs, but that was a thing of the past. I mean, that is a thing of the past. If you remember white cherry 𝗕𝗄𝐼cs, oh, they were the best. I wore this lipstick yesterday, and I forgot how much I loved it. This is MAC lipstick in the shade Modesty. Is that not just perfectly cool toned? I also want to mention, I wore it with a lip liner. And this is just a regular lipstick. It does not claim to be super long lasting, but it lasted 6 hours through eating and yapping. I love this color. Let's also go to Ulta. Does anybody want to go with me? Actually, while I'm thinking about it, you know what a dupe, I know we don't like that word, but you know what a similar friend to the Gucci bronzer would be, but I actually feel like I like it better? It's the NYX bronzer. Now, this shade is obviously different, but in terms of this even kind of has very similar, if you were to see the formula in person, not the colors, the formula, you would say, they even feel the same. You would say, And I feel like NYX even took it, this is the NYX, the darker one is the NYX. NYX even took the Gucci formula and kind of took it to another level. The pigment is wild on those. But you can see that the NYX picks up more, which can be a better thing because it picks up more evenly. But again, the color is different, yes. But the way that they look and feel is so similar. And I feel like NYX probably took note of this formula when it was very, very popular. I'm like, I see that. I think we can do that a little better. And the reason I say better is because this came out a lot later than this. So there's better advancements in formula here. There's just been, and also I feel that this is interesting. The older that certain technologies get, the more that they can kind of filter down into the more affordable brands. So that's also something to note. It's a lot. I want to do a more red-brown lip liner with this. I feel like this is fun to do for the holidays. If you don't want to do a red lip, do a red-brown lip liner. Or a red-brown lip. I love these lip liners though. Nice. I'll just keep perfecting, obviously. And I forgot to tell you, this was the shade Let's Bounce from the Maybelline. And then I'm gonna just put a little bit more of this in the center. There we go. And then last step, I like to take the shade Whiskey. Don't ask, I'm just gonna say I like to smoke it out. E28, and just look at how easily that smudges. And then obviously it makes our halo here really pop. All right, my friends, we are all done. I've just been testing so much good stuff. I'm really excited. It's gonna be pretty fun next year. Some good stuff. This feels really good. All right, I love y'all so much. Don't forget, if you're new here, on the weekends, I usually have, obviously I take a little bit of time to hang out with family. I also don't show a lot of my life if you are new here. We like to keep it all about makeup. It's about the art supplies. But on the weekends, I film other things and I don't do the stories. And if you're thinking, well, you didn't do stories this week, why are y'all so mean? I don't travel a whole lot, but I do travel a lot. So I wasn't able to do my stories for 2 days this week, but I'm home. Actually, we have to go to the Rose & Bim Beauty Company party next week. But I do try to pre-film a lot of the time. Most of these stories you see, unless I stated in the story, these are just literally me sitting here and uploading these clips daily as I go. Like right now, consider this live. All right, my friends, that's going to be it for today. I love y'all so much. If you're in Houston, I really hope to see you on Sunday. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And if you need me, you know where to find me.